but I understand that's a Band-Aid. It's almost like when you try to Band-Aid an insecurity, you actually get more afraid of being found out.
Accept the things that you can't change. You know, change the things you can, work on the things you can, I should say, and have the wisdom to know the difference. There's that great serenity prayer.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, number 1137. How do I make unlearning less overwhelming? Today, for episode number 1138, the most powerful way to deal with your insecurities. I don't know if you saw this, if you follow me on social media, at Never Quit Kid on the gram, Kevin Palmieri elsewhere. I shared a picture recently of me with my two stepfathers. And by my two stepfathers, I mean Alan and our buddy Matt. And the reason I say they are my stepfathers is because they are both much larger than me. And if you peruse on over to Never Quit Kid, you will see a picture that looks like a small boy with two fully grown men. And that was I think the caption I wrote was something along the lines of, yeah, this is me on my wedding day with, please show the camera as well. The reason I'm referencing that picture is because if you told me 5 years ago that not only would I put that picture up with a caption, but it wouldn't hurt me to do it, it wouldn't be one of those things of I'm trying to be funny even though it's at my own expense, I never would have believed you. That would have seemed like such an impossibility for me 5 years ago. You going to show it right now? Nice.
I don't know if you can really see it on my camera.
It's zoomed. Yeah, nice.
Zoomed nicely. Yeah,
two fully grown men and
Sony Z1 is good, man.
And a child.
Let me read the caption for you.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Please. Yeah.
All right. It got a lot of love. Good. Are these my two best friends? ... Yes.
It's a good hook.
Do they make me look like a small child who they could both be stepfathering? Also, yes. Hashtag big friends, little Kev. That's funny.
So if I saw that 5 years ago, there's no way I would believe that I could do that without hurting my own self-worth and like making fun of myself. And now, I mean, yes, I'm making fun of myself, but I'm okay with it. And the reason why is because that is something that I have worked on over the last 5 years. If you want to, the most powerful way to deal with your insecurities is to face them head on. And I think a lot of us, we've talked about this in the past, but anytime we get a new awareness, we want to share it with you. A lot of us want to pretend that our insecurities don't exist, or we want to pretend that we're the only person who has our insecurities. And I think our deepest fear is that somebody is going to make fun of us for the thing that we're most afraid of being made fun of, or made fun for, if that's the proper phrasing for that. That's a deep one. There's a lot that goes into that. But I know for a long time, I was terrified that people would call me short. And hanging out with Alan, hanging out with Matt, hanging out with people that are a lot taller than me, that was a huge fear and a huge insecurity of mine. And I told Alan this, and this is like super embarrassing. But when I used to be on the dating apps, I would literally tell the women I was talking to how tall I was before we went out, because I didn't want them to meet me and be disappointed. I'd say, hey, just FYI, I don't know if this is important to you or not, but I'm 5'5", 5'4", whatever I said, depended on the day and what shoes I was wearing. And that was a challenge for me. That was the shoes I was wearing joke. That was challenging for me because I was super scared of meeting somebody and them being disappointed. And I've told this story. I was at a party with Alan. Can I help you?
I'm good. I'm just in a really good mood.
How dare you?
This is good. We're in a giggly mood tonight.
We are. This is one of those.
It's going to be a giggly week for the NLE
Yeah, this
listeners.
is one of those Monday nights, extra marathon Mondays. I was at a party with Alan. This is the party where I almost drowned in his lake because I went swimming under the influence of a lot of alcohol, and the weeds were, it was brutal. That was not a good idea. But that night, I approached a couple women, and one of them literally said, like, you're too short for us. And I was like, oh my goodness, do you know how much money I make? I am balling. How dare you? And my ego flared, definitely. But that was like my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear. It was to get called out like that. And it happened, and it wasn't the pain that I thought it would be, but it's very easy to run away from your insecurities. But just like everything else that we talk about, it's almost like the thing that you want to do the least is the thing that you need to do the most. And I think it's making friends or at least facing your insecurities. Because when you can talk about them comfortably, in a way, it doesn't really matter what anybody else says because you've already come to terms with the truth. And Alan asked me that when we were prepping for this. He said, well, how did you overcome it? And I said, honestly, I got okay with the fact that it was the truth. First of all, like I am below average height. I think average height for a male is 5'8". I'm not that. I'm below average when it comes to that. And then also having the ability to be comfortable with the fact that there's not much I can do about it. If I could change it, I would, right? I'm sure I would do the work to change it. But for me, it's something that I can't change. So you either get okay with it, you run from it forever, or you let it run your life. And I didn't want either of those two.
The other night I was in the gym and I was wearing a shirt. So we had sushi the night before. And sushi, I eat a lot of sushi when we get sushi. It's awesome. And so Friday night we got sushi. And I was in the gym the day after, the night before. So sushi has a lot of carbs, and I ate a ton of it. So I had a good pump in the gym. And I was wearing these pretty short shorts, and I had this really tight upper body shirt on. And for those of you who don't know, so the workouts that I do are very simple. It's push-pull legs. So push is, chest, shoulders, and triceps. Pull is back, lats, biceps, and traps. And then, legs are quads, hammies, calves, and glutes. And so, there's essentially a chest day, a back day, and a leg day, if in simpler form. And back day is my best. I think my best by far is my back. I have a very large back. And so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling it in the gym. Great carbs, awesome rest lately, Oura ring, things are good. Killing it, tight shirt, feel great in the gym. Not insecure at all. My legs wearing these short shorts, I'm like, I had this moment. And I had these young guys come in, and in my gym, it's not necessarily a bodybuilder gym. So these young kids, they're definitely looking up to me in some ways, and they're definitely like seeing like, oh wow, you're like way ahead of us, which is whatever. And I had this moment. Yeah, I know. Whatever. I had this moment where I was like, damn, like they probably think I'm a top heavy bodybuilder. Because there's a joke. If you've ever seen that meme, which is definitely doctored, it's photoshopped, I think. But there's this dude who's like jacked up top, and he has these tiny legs. And I'm a little bit insecure about the size of my calves, and I hurt my groin a while back, and after COVID, and I haven't been as on point with my legs as I used to be. And so, I think I have really long legs, and I'm tall, and that's great, and I can run really fast and all that kind of stuff, and that's all great, but my legs aren't naturally built. They're not huge. And so I have this big upper body and this back, and I'm feeling it, and I got a pump, but I'm like, shit, my legs are like not as big as my upper body. Am I a top heavy bodybuilder? And so to Kevin's point, so he can't change his height. I can work on my legs, and I do. And I'm very conscious of that. I'm like working on my calves, I'm working on my quads and my hamstrings and my glutes. And I think that an important piece here is to own whatever you're insecure about. You're not alone. I don't consider myself an insecure person, but I have insecurities. I think statistically I have probably less than most, but I have a lot of insecurities still. You're not alone. We've met models, we've met millionaires, we've met famous people. These people have insecurities, I promise you. And it's very important to realize that you're not alone in this. Some of the most beautiful people we've ever met are deeply insecure about their looks. It's such an interesting, it used to blow our mind, Kev. Yeah. I mean, now we kind of get it. It's just par for the course. Every human's insecure. But I want everyone out there to know you're not the only one who doesn't like your hair or who doesn't like that feature or who thinks they're too skinny or thinks they're too bulky or, everyone has this. So accept the things that you can't change, change the things you can, work on the things you can, I should say, and have the wisdom to know the difference. There's that great serenity prayer. One more story here. I have a client who everyone considers beautiful, genuinely just gorgeous, right? Inside and out. And it's very true. And I'll never forget when I asked her, like, can you name 3 things that you love about your appearance? And she couldn't. Like, nothing was coming. And I was like, no, seriously, like 3 things, just 3, like 3 things. Like, long pause. And whenever I'm coaching, by the way, I'm always looking for what is the biggest self-esteem issue. Because the root cause of all lack of success and fulfillment usually comes down to like low self-esteem, which is low self-worth, or low self-confidence, which is really just low self-belief. Without self-worth and self-belief, you really can't succeed. So I got to work on those. So I got to figure out, okay, why does she have such low self-esteem? Okay, let's work on that if we can. And then I asked her, name me 3 things that you dislike, about your physical appearance. And she started hammering them. And I was like, oh my God. Like, first of all, you do realize that everyone thinks you're really beautiful, right? She's like, yeah, people tell me that, but I don't feel that way, right? And it's like, okay, fair. So anyways, we did what we call insecurity chasing. We just started calling this. So I gave this person homework, and this is actually years later. I said, when we first started coaching, where was your insecurities? If 10 out of 10 means you had no insecurities whatsoever, you're the most confident, highest self-worth person in the world. She's like, 0. I was like, okay, where are you now? She's like, probably like a 5. I was like, okay, progress. Awesome. Wait, head in the right direction. Great, let's keep it up. All right, so we do insecurity chasing. So it's a coined phrase. We used to talk about fear chasing all the time. You have a fear, okay, green light instead of a red light. Let's rock and roll. Amy at the mall, for our new listeners, anything you're afraid of, just take that next baby step toward it. Afraid to give a speech? Go give a speech to a small group, not 1,000 people. So this was her homework assignment. I want you to write out, and share this with only me. You won't share this with anyone else. I'll never hear the light of day. It's all good. Anonymous. Send me a list of all your insecurities. And then I want you to rate them from 0 to 10 in frequency and intensity, meaning how frequently they come up for you and how intensely they come up. So for me, wearing shorts in the gym, I'm insecure about my calves. Okay, how often does that happen? Well, I'd say probably a couple times a week, right? And then how intense is it? Is it debilitating? Do I have to leave the gym level of insecurity? Or is it just like, all right, I got to work on my legs, do some mobility so that I can squat again, right? So it's very important. So write out that list. And for our listeners, insecurity chasing is really this. Okay, identify the insecurity and then ask yourself a question. Can I improve this? Is this something I can actually change? In your case with the height, there's nothing you can really do. Okay? Because here's what happens. When we hide from something, the insecurity gets worse. It doesn't get better. So if Kevin spent his whole life avoiding tall people, that's not going to make his insecurity better. It's going to make it worse. Versus what he did, which is, and you don't have to do this, by the way, he posted a picture next to 2 people that are 6'1" and 6'2" and made that joke about it. And he didn't start there, by the way. So can you take us through your journey a little bit of like where you started talking about it? And
so group coaching was definitely an experience for me. Getting to know the people was really, really cool. Everybody's kind of moving towards the same goal. And I definitely started to see the value in what Kevin and Alan were presenting to us. PPT for me was something that was really huge. I was looking for a system to help me kind of keep track of the things that I had to do every day to make sure that I was productive. I feel like I got so much value out of it, and I am so grateful that I took the leap and I decided to join.
I think I've talked about it for a long time, but a lot of it was from the place of, have you seen 8 Mile? You've seen 8 Mile.
Yeah.
You know how at the end Eminem basically raps about himself so nobody else can make fun of him? I think I did that for a lot of my life, where it was like, well, if I make fun of me, either 1, you won't make fun of me because you assume it won't do anything, or 2, if you do, we can laugh about it together and I can laugh with you, so it's not you laughing at me. So I think I've always tried to do that, whether it's healthy coping or not. I don't know. When it really started shifting for me was when I got into self-improvement. When I got into self-improvement, I remember I told, and I never ended up doing this, but I remember I told Andrew that at some point I was going to go out to the bar and I was going to approach the tallest girl there, like as a fear chasing thing. I don't think I ever got to that point. That I didn't get to that point quick enough where I was going to end up doing that, and I don't really go to the bar anymore. And I think I just kept, I don't know. I think I just kept trying to understand, like, there's really nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about this. So, like, why am I letting it run my life? I really think that was it for me. Because I had dated girls taller than me. I mean, Taryn's at least my height, maybe a little bit taller. Not a lot, but, you know, if she puts heels on, she's 2 inches taller than I am when we go out. Mm-hmm. And at this point, it's like, I don't care. Because
Now
she's asked me
imagine if
before.
Taryn can't wear heels because of your insecurity.
And I
It's
said that.
not
I've said that before.
you know? Yeah.
Like, you can wear whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you can't wear shoes because you're going to be taller than me. I don't care. Are the pictures going to come out, Jeff? Maybe. Maybe, but I don't. It doesn't bother me anymore. But again, I think it was years and years and years, to Alan's point, of just trying to expose myself to that. And this is the interesting thing too. There are ways I can make myself taller. I could get shoes that have lifts in them. I see those are advertised all the time. But I understand that's a Band-Aid. It's almost like when you try to Band-Aid an insecurity, you actually get more afraid of being found out. It's like, well, what if I don't have my shoes? Then what? Then I'm trying to pretend I'm something that I'm not. I'm screwed. Then I'm going to have to like stand on my tippy toes. Yeah. That's not sustainable. That's not real. That's not real life.
I'll tell a quick story. So I have to. Sorry to interrupt you. I was at the casino once.
Excuse me. Just going to go ahead and interrupt you now.
The way I breathe, Kev can tell. It's like time for a story. We'll go quick on this because we got to go.
There's $1. Also, $1
$1 in
from
the
the
jar.
last episode as well. That's $2 this week.
Really? Mm-hmm. You got to have the thing.
I know. I haven't had time. I haven't had time.
Okay. That's $1. I'm joking. All right. So I was at the casino. So I realized in hindsight, this is actually apparently illegal. You're not supposed to like count cards.
No, that's
At the
definitely
casino.
illegal.
It's illegal. Yeah.
They can't
Okay,
prove
so-
it, but they can kick you out.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, as far as casinos go, they're consistently detrimental to the world, in my opinion, honestly. But anyways, mathematically speaking. So I used to go to the casino with some of my college roommates, and we'd go to Mohegan or Foxwoods or whatever, and we had a lot of fun and all that, and we were math people. So I loved blackjack, and I counted cards, and essentially, to make it as short as possible, I've talked about this before, you can kind of put the odds in your favor if you know how many face cards are still in the deck, and you can calculate the probability of the dealer busting or you getting 21, for lack of better phrasing. All that's, forget about all that. Okay, so so essentially, what was it that I wanted to share about this?
Insecurities, hiding from insecurities. It gets worse when you hide from them.
Gets worse when you're hiding from them. Why did I want to talk about the casino?
I don't know that. I don't know.
What were you talking about before that?
Putting lifts in my shoes.
And then getting found out. Oh, found it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, so I had a roommate of mine who was very knowledgeable about all kinds of stuff. And he said, hey, you're so good at blackjack. Because at that point, I had never lost. He's like, I'm going to give you like a couple $100. Like, can you, I'll invest in you and then you can split the winnings. So take the winnings, cut it in half, right? And I'll be the investor. It's very cool. Yeah. And so anyways, he's like, but you have to promise me you won't play with scared money because it's my money. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you can't play with scared money because when it's your money, you're okay with losing. He's like, you can't, because it's my money, change the way you would have played. And so the analogy here is when you're afraid to lose the money, you play more scared. When you're afraid to be found out, you're more scared to be found out. So you have to tiptoe all the time. And that's really what he was saying is just because it's my money, don't tiptoe. If you got to bet, you got to bet, right? And so if you're using the lifts in your shoes, Kev, you're going to be more afraid, more insecure. Because what is an insecurity? An insecurity is I don't like this part about myself, and I'm afraid that other people are going to find out about it. And so if you're playing with scared money, it's going to make it worse, not better. And hopefully, and even with my nose, so I talk about how I broke my nose and how it's not symmetrical, and everyone on YouTube can see that, right? When I started talking about that, it made it better. Because I'm not hiding it anymore. I don't have to make sure I'm in the right lighting and, oh my God, someone's going to find out. Everyone has insecurities. They get worse when you try to hide them. And I'm not saying to go air out your deepest, darkest secrets to the world because that's another dangerous game. What I'm saying is that if you are playing with scared money, try to do this insecurity chasing. Try to take a small step in the right direction. For Kev, I remember him saying, I want to go to the bar and I want to try not to drink. That was a big step for him, even though in hindsight that's a small step now. And now he doesn't even go to the bar. But I think just start small and let this build.
I remember when you were talking about the legs thing. I remember, and I'm curious to know if you remember this, but I remember when we were in like elementary school, middle school, we used to, I don't know if we were, maybe it was during gym class, but I just have these memories of sitting down with shorts on, and we would sit cross-legged. And I remember one of my insecurities was my thighs. I don't know why, because I was at the age where like I had hair on my legs, and I was like, oh my goodness, nobody can see my thighs here. Like I got to make sure nobody can see my thighs. Fast forward to when I was in the peak of bodybuilding, I used to wear the shortest shorts I could possibly wear because I have really big legs. So even to Alan's point before, one of my insecurities is being short. One of his insecurities is his legs. One of the things I'm proud of are my legs. I'll show my legs off because I have big muscular legs. And so that's very interesting and that's probably one of the reasons is because I'm shorter. That helps me.
Of course.
For sure. Legs like a Haas.
And I got legs like a giraffe.
Like a giraffe.
Which is
Anything
why
in
I
closing,
beat in
sir?
that timed mile. That's
it wasn't good. I didn't even finish. I think I had half a lap to go. It almost took me.
Kev was like, I think I can do a 6-minute mile. I was like, dude, no way.
I was wrong.
Let's go to the track. And we went to the track.
I showed
Granted,
up.
we did do like a 2-hour workout before that.
Yeah. It wasn't a lot going on in the business back then.
Yeah.
You know, I just
we used to go
you
to the gym for 2 hours a day, man.
You want to go for a run?
Remember Crunch in Worcester?
I do.
We used to hammer an hour and a half in there a day. It was good times.
Yeah, no, those were good times. Anything in closing?
No wonder we weren't profitable. I'm joking. No, that's it, man.
All right.
Insecurity chasing. I think that we should coin that.
I like that. Fear chasing, insecurity chasing. I'm sure we'll come up with something else. Embarrassment chasing. That would be one. I know you used to wear a mask in the gym. Fear no judgment. Hashtag fear no judgment.
Yeah,
That's another layer, though, right? First, it's insecurity. Then it's fear chasing. Then it's probably embarrassment chasing.
Just to let everyone know, it was because I broke
Scream
my nose.
mask.
It's not like
It
a
was a scream
mask. It's a scream mask, like a Batman mask in the gym. When I broke my nose, I used to play a lot of basketball, and I had one of those masks to make sure you don't re-break your nose before it sets. And I used to wear that because I was trying to fear no judgment. I was trying to be judged and then teach my brain not to care. So
Context is important.
Yeah.
Context is important.
Scream mask in the gym. You're funny, man.
Who's
It is
that guy?
Halloween coming up, so.
It is Halloween. Speaking of that, for Monday's episode, I'm going to change my lights so they're orange for Halloween.
We had a team member, Kev, who said you two should dress up as each other for a Halloween episode.
I love
That
that.
would be funny. I'll come in with a backwards hat.
We're recording that tonight.
Are we?
Yeah.
You should dress up as like Business Jeff.
What do I need?
We could act like each other for Halloween.
I need
That'd be funny.
a polo shirt, and some fake awards.
And then what do I need? I need a backwards cap, and
You just need a backwards cap. And
I gotta
sense of
grow a
humor.
beard.
No,
Yeah.
I shaved for you.
Fair enough.
You
I
do
gotta
need
get a
a-
stash going.
Yeah,
though.
you need a gentle mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Gentle.
Pistachio question.
Nothing crazy. All right, we're going to go. Next Level Nation, we have our number one, our website has come way, way, way up. Shout out to Alessandro for that. If you're somebody, think about this. If you're somebody out there right now who's thinking to yourself, you know what? I remember when Kevin built the website. It was garbage. It wasn't good. Next Level Universe has come way, way, way up. If you are somebody who needs a website, I almost said an entrepreneur, please reach out to us. Alessandro created our website. He can create yours as well. And we can do all sorts of stuff on the back end, make it better, make it more user-friendly, whatever it is. Alessandro's a wizard. We'd love to help you.
Also, I don't think Christina gets enough credit too. So Christina is our COO, and she's also our graphic designer. One of the reasons our website is so beautiful is her graphic design work as well.
said.
And Jesse's going to be helping with graphic design as well. So yeah, we got all the people doing all the awesome things. Book club every Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want more incentive to read more books, we have a community of people that are committed every single week to really just reading the chapter and coming and discussing it. We're reading Switch by Dan and Chip Heath. It's how to change your behavior. If you've been frustrated, you know you need to change, you want to change, no one needs to change, you want to change, but you are having trouble, this book is going to help you. And more importantly, book club, we set an intention every week. Everyone puts it in the chat, and then we share it in the WhatsApp group. So there's public accountability of the intentions that you're setting. So it's not just reading books, it's also taking action. join us, and the link will be in the show notes to register.
Show notes. Next Level Nation tomorrow for episode number 1139, The Upside of Down Times. You can often build something amazing from your darkness. When you're in the darkness, you create the light. As always, we love you, appreciate you, grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans, we have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out